Hey there, Irene. I was just curious if you were still working or if you had already finished for the night.
Oh, hey, Mom. Yes, I finished work. What's up? Is everything okay?
Does something have to be wrong just for a mother to want to talk to her daughter? I was just going to ask how you've been and if you're doing well. You know, you really should be trying just a little harder to reach out to me.
Well, yes, I am doing well. Thank you for asking. And I'm not sure what you meant by that, since we were messaging last week.
Well, I am talking about phone calls. Just sending your mom a text now and then doesn't count, you know. So are you available to talk to me on the phone right now?
I'm sorry, Mom, but I'm on the bus back home right now. But I'll be more than happy to call you once I'm back home. Do you think you can wait about an hour?
You really think that I can stay up until 9 at night for you? That's my bedtime, I'll have you know.
Oh, I see. Well then, I guess it just means we'll have to make this call work a different time then, huh?
It appears that way, yes, but how's your husband Jim and my little grandbaby Max? Are they doing well?
Yeah, they're doing alright. But I think we've all just been quite busy recently. Although I guess it's since Jim is a freelancer, he is probably grateful to have so much more work right now.
Oh, that's right. Well, I just hope that you two are at least getting the rest that you need as well as taking care of yourselves. But I really do want to see you as soon as possible. When are we all going to be able to get back together again?
Well, you know that we already have plans to go over and stay with you around the New Year's, right?
New Year's? Oh, but that's so far away. You know, we're having your grandfather's memorial service in a few months. Don't you think you could make it for that?
You mean the memorial service to make 7 years since he passed away? I thought you said I didn't have to go to that, so I wasn't really planning on being there.
Did I really say that to you?
Yeah, we were talking about how far away the drive would be and how difficult it would be to fit into our schedule. You said that you didn't want me spending all that money and going all that way just to be there for such a short time. Not to mention the fact that I remember you mentioning about how there are already so many people who are going to be coming over. And we might not even have a place to stay with you.
Well, yes, that is true, and your grandmother is already plenty worried about having so many people around the house, but I really would like it if you made more of an effort to visit us down there. I mean, you can't just put off seeing your family until the end of the year, you know.
Well, I'm sorry, Mom, but you live really far away, and it isn't cheap to do all that traveling. Besides, you also make visiting home feel so tense sometimes.
Just because I ask you to have some manners when you're in my house doesn't mean I'm making things tense.
I'm just not really sure why you want us there so badly, though. I mean, Jack got married to his wife, and now they're both living there with you and Grandma, right?
Oh, yes, but you don't need to be worried about them. Besides, Jack is your little brother, and his wife is part of the family now. Don't you know that we all miss seeing you?
Well, it sounds to me like there'll just be more tension and having to walk on eggshells over there. I mean, I've seen the way you work Jack's wife, Anne. And I'm sure that if I visited home that you'd put me to work and wouldn't let me rest at all either.
Oh, but what are you complaining about? Don't you know that it's a woman's job to keep the house clean and take care of her family?
I mean, sure, that might have been all that we did in the 50s or something. But you really can't be treating people like that anymore.
You have no idea what you're talking about. I treat everyone just fine, and no one has ever had any problems with me.
You know, I really don't think most people would agree with that. You're always trying to rush people and make them feel like they have to finish what they're doing and move on to the next thing.
Well, sometimes there are things that need to be done, and I'm not going to apologize for wanting efficiency. Besides, have you seen Anne? She's like a whale, and I'm only trying to thin her up a bit.
Okay, Mom, now you really are just being rude about all of this. And what does that have to do with anything?
Come on, do you really think that someone that fat should be a part of our family? She needs to at least try and move.
I really don't think that we should be trying to control the bodies of our family, Mom. And I think that's a really rude thing to care so much about.
And what is so rude about my wanting to make sure that my daughter-in-law doesn't die in 5 years from heart failure, huh? And don't you know how embarrassing it is to have her be at family reunions? Everyone is also talking behind her back about how we let her into our family.
Again, I really don't think Anne needs to do anything at all to conform to what other people say about her body. Besides, if Jack loves her, that should be enough. Not only that, but I really don't think that anyone from our family talks about her behind her back. If anything, she seems to get along with everyone.
Oh, you have no idea how much I can't stand people like her. I mean, if she can't even take care of herself, then how is she supposed to take care of a family? She really is just a pig.
Mom, please stop saying things like that. It's really rude and uncalled for. I think Anne is a lovely and kind person, and I really like her. And you haven't said one word about her personality, or how she makes Jack feel, or anything like that. You've only been talking about her appearance.
Well, that's because that's all that everyone sees when we have to go out in public with her. But I bet half the people who see her are wondering if she's going to keel over at some point. You realize that I'm only saying all of this because of how worried I am for Anne, don't you? How is she supposed to have any kids in her shape?
Mom, you seriously need to stop. I mean it. And don't you dare ever say any of this to Anne, you understand me?
Just what has gotten into you, Irene? What is this all about?
I mean that you do not get to put Anne down because you're worried about her having kids. It is a choice between her and Jack to make. And if for whatever reason they choose not to have kids or are unable to, then you just have to accept that.
And why should I have to accept that? Why can't you see that I really am just concerned for Anne's well-being here?
Because, Mom, a lot of people will attribute so many health problems someone might have just to them being fat. But life isn't that simple, and you don't know what kind of underlying conditions that she might also have. So since you don't know Anne's medical history, maybe you should just butt out of her business.
I don't get why you don't want me to talk to her about this, though. I mean, how am I supposed to know about her medical background if I don't ask her?
You just don't ask her, Mom. It really is that simple. So just please try and keep your comments about her to yourself, okay? Hey, Mom. I was just curious about how the memorial service for Grandpa went. You did do it yesterday, right?
Oh, it really was just lovely. I invited more people than usual this year, thinking that not all of them would show up. But it was a huge turnout, and there were so many people there to remember your grandpa. I suppose in the end, it's probably best that you didn't come. I mean, we ended up having to offer to split hotel room costs for some guests since we just couldn't house them all.
Oh, wow. Well, it sounds to me like you got a really big crowd to turn up yesterday then.
I'll say, I think we had over 30 people there in total.
30 people? Well, I guess now I understand why your house was overflowing.
It really was quite a sight. I mean, I just feel like I haven't seen that many friends and family in one place in a while, so it was great.
I'm glad to hear it. I bet the last time we even had that many people together was probably Jack and Anne's wedding, huh? I bet Grandma was stressing out with so many people in the house. But she's also the kind of person that enjoys it, even if she'd never say it.
I think we all had a good time, and I saw your grandma smiling and talking all day. Not only that, but we even set up the grill outside, and some of the kids had some fireworks to set off.
Oh man. Well, now I really do wish that I could have made it over to see all of that.
Yeah, it really would have been nice if you could have made it. Everyone was asking about where you were.
Well, I do wish that I could have gone now. But did you take any pictures of it? I'd love to see some if you have.
Oh yes, I have a few pictures from yesterday that I can send you if you like.
Yeah, that would be great. Please send me those photos that you took of the service yesterday.
Sure thing. So, I'll go ahead and send those pictures over to you right now.
Thank you, Mom. I'm glad you had a good time. Hey, Anne. How's it going? It's been a while since I last shot you a message. But I hope you had a good time at the memorial service the other day.
Oh, hey there, Irene. Thanks for reaching out. It's so good to hear from you. I was actually wondering if you were going to be at the service, but you never showed up.
I know, but we just live so far away, and it's really tough to travel all the way out here. But my mom did send me some of the photos of the event. She even sent me a photo of you, and I have to say, I was pretty shocked. I mean, it looks like you've lost a lot of weight since I last saw you. Are you on some kind of new diet or something like that?
Not really a diet, but since I'm the daughter-in-law living at home, I can only have one meal a day, as you know.
Wait, what? Is there some kind of rule that says you can only eat once a day?
Well, I mean, I was told that I was eating too much and was too fat, so I was made to cut back.
Hold on a second. Who said that to you? Did someone from my family tell you that?
Yeah, your mom and brother both told me the same thing.
I don't believe it. How could they say something like that to you? It's just horrible. I'm sorry you had to deal with that, Anne.
I mean, I got pretty used to them calling me Fatty every single day. In fact, that's basically just how they started referring to me after a while. But it's okay. I've been called much worse in my life, so it's not the end of the world.
Anne, you know that you shouldn't have to put up with that, right? I'm so sorry that my family has treated you that way.
Oh, come on. I know that you probably feel the same exact way about me, right? You're so stylish and good-looking. There's no way you don't look down on me.
Anne, what are you saying? Of course I don't feel that way at all.
Well, I know that at our wedding you told me a bunch of times how cute and pretty you thought I looked. But I know that on the inside you were just insulting me too, right?
Anne, I'm so sorry that you think that's the case, but it really isn't. I promise that I've never once looked down on you. But I'm not surprised at all that my mother and brother would act in such a horrible way towards you. How could they think it's okay to treat someone like that, though? I've never once cared about how you look.
Do you really mean that, Irene?
Of course I mean that. And I really am so sorry that those two have been putting you through all this.
So then, you really never cared at all about how I used to look? Even though your mom and brother made fun of me for it all the time?
I want you to know that I don't think like them at all. They just see a larger person and automatically assume that every health issue they might have is because of their weight. But I told my mom to keep her opinions on that to herself for all the good it did.
Oh, I see. Well, I really had no idea that you felt differently about this.
Well, what I want to know is how you've been getting along with just one meal a day. I mean, sure, you've lost weight, but that can't be healthy, right? Are you okay?
I really don't know anymore. Your mom was saying that she was applying this rule for my own good. But most days, I just feel like I could pass out at any moment, and I haven't even had a period in the past 3 months.
Oh my gosh. Anne, your poor body must be going through so much. There's nothing good about losing weight if it's going to cost you your health.
Yeah, but your mom is always saying that if I want to be pretty and healthy, then I have to keep losing weight. But I think it's just doing the opposite. My skin has been looking deflated and saggy, and even my hair is starting to fall out in the shower. I feel like I've aged 10 years since I've started this.
Well, I'm sure that my mom is just so sure of herself that she's right about this. But it shouldn't be happening. This is so horrible. I don't know what else to say.
Well, do you think that maybe you could try talking to your mom or brother about this for me? Because I really don't know how much longer I can hold out like this. And anytime I try and say anything, I just get ignored and told this is for my own good, but it doesn't feel good at all.
Yes, of course I can speak to them. Those two are out of their minds if they think it's okay to treat someone like this.
I really am sorry asking you to do this for me. I know that this isn't your problem.
It's my problem if my family are treating others this way. But if they won't listen to you, then maybe they'll listen to me.
Thank you so much for understanding, Irene. I really appreciate it.
Hey, Mom, are you there? I was wondering if you had a moment to text real quick.
Oh, this is perfect timing. I actually just finished what I was doing, and Anne and Jack have gone out somewhere together. I think they both have off of work today or something like that, so they must be going out on a date or something like that.
Actually, the two of them are both right here with me.
Wait, what? You mean that Anne and Jack are both there with you right now? I don't understand. Are you coming to visit me?
That's right. I'm finally coming home to visit.
And just why are you doing that? I mean, you should have told me you were going to do this sooner. And why are you just with those two and not me too? That's not fair. What are the three of you even doing together, huh?
Well, if you really must know, we're all at the hospital right now.
You're at the hospital? I don't understand. What are you doing there? Is everyone okay? Did you get sick on the plane ride over here or something?
No, and I'm not the one being looked at the hospital right now. It's Anne who is being examined.
Wait a second. Don't tell me that she's finally pregnant. I knew it. I knew if she just lost a bit of weight that she could have children. I knew it. I was right all along.
No, Mom. Anne isn't pregnant, and the doctors are saying that there's no way she's going to be able to in her state. Did you know that Anne hasn't even had a period in 3 months?
Wait, what? But I don't get it. How can she not have kids after all the weight that she's lost? It doesn't make sense.
It's because all this rapid weight loss isn't good for her, Mom. The doctor was just explaining that to us. The doctor said that forcing someone to eat like this is basically the same as physical abuse for what it does to the body. And I made sure to explain to the doctor that you were the one insisting on this.
Hold on a second, that doctor really just called my diet abuse? How in the world is helping some fatty slim down abuse? Besides, she's my daughter-in-law and I know what's best for her.
You don't know what you're talking about at all, Mom. And Anne was just fine the way she was. The doctor says she was much healthier than she is now anyways. Don't you know that these kinds of extreme diets are really harmful to the body? Don't you know the negative effects they can have? How could you force someone to live that way you were making Anne live?
Okay, now you're just being ridiculous. The most weight you lose, the healthier you are. It's simple science. I think that you probably just have one of those sensitive doctors that are too scared to call a patient fat to their face. Your whole generation is so sensitive these days.
Mom, you literally have no idea what you're talking about. Losing weight is not always a healthy thing to do. And the doctor has called what you've been forcing Anne to go through abuse. So how about you look in a mirror before throwing around accusations? Not only that, but you need to apologize to Anne for the horrible way you've been treating her.
What are you talking about? I was doing all of this for Anne's sake to begin with. I didn't even do anything wrong.
I don't care if you thought you were doing right by her. The fact of the matter is you've been forcing Anne into an unhealthy lifestyle.
Well, I'm not going to apologize. I don't have anything to apologize for, and I won't be pressured into doing so by a bunch of sensitive children.
Are you sure you don't want to consider that just a little more, Mom?
I am telling you that I didn't do anything wrong, and if Anne's body needs some time to adjust to its new form, then that's fine. Because once she gets used to it, she'll thank me for how skinny and pretty I've made her.
Mom, we are talking about health, biological health. I don't care about what you think a beautiful person looks like.
And I'm telling you that lots of people would look much better in this world if they went on a diet, so I still don't think I've done anything wrong.
Even though the doctor has evidence that this diet has been horrible for Anne's health? Do you really only care about what number shows up on the scale?
You don't understand. Having to take that pig out in public led to so many stares and whispers and people laughing at us. I didn't just do it for her, I did it for the good of our family's reputation.
I seriously can't even talk to you like this right now. But if you're not going to apologize or even reflect on your actions, then you're leaving me no choice.
What is that supposed to mean? What do you think you can do to me?
Well, first of all, I'm going to rescue Anne from your house and put her up somewhere else for a while. She isn't going to spend another minute in your house.
Hey, what the heck is this about, huh? Why is there some lawyer standing in front of my door?
Well, I told you that I was going to take action over this, didn't I? I hope you didn't think I was joking.
Just tell me where Anne is. I've tried calling her number over and over again, but she isn't picking up. If the two of you have a problem with me, then why don't you say it to my face instead of cowering behind some lawyer?
Mom, Anne never wants to see you again after the trauma that you've put her through. Her poor health is all your fault. Do you realize that? Besides, I said that I'd protect her from you, so why would we come and talk to you? Both the doctor and the lawyer agreed that it was best if you kept far, far away from us.
But is she really going to be suing Jack and I over this? She's really going to try and make us pay for this? How could she do this to us?
What part of abuse don't you understand? You know that's a crime, right? You said all kinds of horrible things to Anne, and basically were starving her. That's plenty hurtful.
But, I mean, she didn't have to go and hire a lawyer. That's taking things way too far. Please, let me have a chat with her. Can you at least tell me where you are?
No, that would defeat the whole purpose of keeping distance between us. If you have anything to say to me, you can speak to the lawyer.
I don't believe this. You're my daughter and you're really going to stab me in the back like this? You're horrible. How could you do this to your own mother?
I'm sorry, Mom, but the fact of the matter is that you did this to yourself. And I'm not going to stand by and let you and Jack hurt Anne any longer. Neither of us are ever going to forgive you for what you've done, and I'm going to make sure Anne never has to go back to that house again.
And you're really fine just letting that little ingrate sue your brother too?
Oh, please. Anne is way too good for Jack. They're getting a divorce, and you both are going to pay for what you've done to her.
How am I supposed to live if you sue me? I'm not going to be able to make it with just my pension.
Well, you still have the house and everything in it, don't you? Sounds to me like you might have to find some local pawn shops.
So you're really fine ruining your mother for the rest of her life?
I'm fine forcing you to pay compensation for something bad that you did. If that's what you mean.
Don't you realize what you're doing to me? You're a horrible, selfish daughter.
Say all you want, but just know that I'm handing over everything to the lawyer. So you can either talk to him or keep insulting Anne and I. The choice is yours, but either way, I'm going to be ignoring your messages. See you in court, Mom. After that, Anne did follow through with her promise to sue my mom and brother, and she won. They both were fined a large amount of money, and my mom had to sell the house just to afford it. Then, Anne and Jack got their divorce, and Anne was finally free. I heard that Jack and my mom ended up moving into a tiny little apartment together. Since they also had to take out hefty loans to afford the legal fees, they had no choice but to downsize in order to keep up on the payments. I told the rest of my family about all the horrible things they put Anne through, and now nobody talks to those two. Of course, that's not how I wanted things to end up, but I saw Anne suffering and couldn't just sit back. I'm glad that I helped Anne and her, and I still talk frequently. She's recovering and is beginning to look like her old, happy, healthy self again.
Hey, you old hag! You need to break up with my brother this instant! Hello? Is that you, Sophia? You're obviously Mark's little sister, then. I'm taking good care of Mark, though. I don't care! I'm saying that you need to break up with him, alright? I won't let you both get married. I can't believe that he's going to go through with this marriage to you. I need to wake him up from this nightmare. I don't understand what you're wanting to say, Sophia. Mark and I have already gotten married. What the heck? How is that possible? We're married now, so of course we're not going to break up. That makes you my new sister-in-law. I hope that we can get along from now on as sisters. Why would my brother choose you to marry? I don't get it. You're just a misunderstood, ugly piece of crap that's wanting his money. That's such a crude thing to say, don't you think? Did you forget how to be polite with other people or something? You're after his money, right? My brother works for a really good company and he excels at his job. Aren't you just wanting his money for your own future success because it's a sure thing? Well, thank you for telling me more about the company he works for. I'm in no way after my husband's money, so please don't worry. I don't believe a word of that. With the pompous attitude that you have, what else would you possibly say? I'm totally against this marriage, so you need to break up. How much influence do you think you have in the decisions we make? We've already gotten married, and the ceremony itself will be in the weekend. Why don't you just approve of our marriage? That is what pleases your brother the most, if you could do that. I will protect my brother at all costs from you. What do you mean, Sophia? You're older than my brother, aren't you? You're almost 10 years older than me. Why would such an old lady like you want to put her hands all over my brother for? Would you quit calling me old already? How is being a different age than your brother even related to how I feel about him? It's rather odd trying to explain this to my husband's sister. It's also strange to suddenly talk through a messaging app when we haven't been properly acquainted. How about we talk about it the next time we meet up together as a family? Maybe we can get along if we talk this out in person. Me and the wrinkly old piece of crap talking? Oh, please, save your breath. If you're going to talk like that, it seems a bit difficult to get along with someone who feels like this. I want my brother to have the best marriage, and what he chooses is an old hag who is ugly and looking to steal his money. My brother shouldn't be marrying such a woman, don't you agree? I have to keep telling you to reconsider your marriage, but you won't listen to me. You haven't been replying to my messages for a while. Are you there? Don't you think that's strange? Even if you're saying that it's strange, it seems like a problem between you and your brother. I'm not telling you to reply to my messages, Sophia. Can't you see a reason why Mark won't reply to you? Maybe it's because you're saying that he shouldn't be with me and saying horrible things about me? What the heck? There's no way that Mark would think like that about me when I'm just trying to protect him. Absolutely no way. Well, if you think so, then everything should be fine, right? If it were me, I don't know what I would do if my family were talking badly about my spouse. This conversation is becoming pointless, and I don't like it. Oh, so you're saying this is my fault? You can't sink any lower if you're going to blame me for everything. Right, okay. no matter what you say now, it's getting on my nerves. How about we have a slow and clear conversation next time we see each other in person? I'll talk to Mark about it so that we can all talk about this together like adults. I just want you to know that we are happy together. I hope this puts your mind at ease a little bit. Hi, sweetie. So, Sophia messaged me. She told me that she hadn't contacted you at all, but didn't you talk to her?
Yeah, I did. I got a load of messages from her. It's all these messages about how we shouldn't get married and to stop seeing each other and that sort of thing. I don't understand why she's sending me these types of messages. So I just didn't reply to her.
Oh, as I suspected. That sounds about right. It seems that she hates me.
She always used to follow me around. I definitely spoiled Sophia, as she was my baby sister, and she just wanted to be around her older brother. We're both almost in our 30s now. I didn't think it would go this far.
Sophia is 26, right? I think she's at the age where she should be leaving her brother to his own devices.
It might have been better to register our marriage without saying anything to her. Otherwise, she might get in our way of having a nice wedding ceremony. I'm really happy that we're married. I want to apologize about what Sophia's saying about you. Try to not let it get to you too much, okay?
It's not your fault, dear. I get it. It's all right. I'll try not to let what she said get to me.
I'm really sorry about her. She's a bit weird when it comes to me.
You have nothing to apologize for. Don't worry. I thought it would be nice if I could get along with Sophia. I'm hated more than I imagined, so I'm quite confused. I'm thinking about what I could do.
I'm just as surprised as you, love. I think you should just tell what you've done so far.
But I feel like she won't listen to me no matter what I say.
That's true, yeah. But it's my life, not Sophia's. She can't just decide things for me. If she keeps complaining about you and saying cruel things, we need to think of something to solve the Sophia issue.
I hope that we can all somehow talk to each other and understand our situations together. And then, of course, reconcile. I'll talk to her at family dinner after the wedding ceremony.
Thank you for considering all these things. I appreciate it.
Hey, it's for family. It's a pretty normal thing to do. Oh, thank God it's over for the both of you. Excuse me? What are you talking about? The wedding ceremony hasn't even started yet. What's over? What are you saying? You're both no longer husband and wife. You're a complete nobody to him now. I never have to look at your face ever again. What's that supposed to mean? I filed divorce papers for you both. You guys are already divorced now. I've freed my brother from your grasp. I can't believe how good of a job I did to manage that. What the heck? You filed divorce papers without our permission? I sure did. Oh well, I bet you're really frightened of me now, huh? I'm not even remotely afraid of you, you know. No matter who you are as a sister-in-law, you've overstepped the mark. If you've gone this far, there is no way of coming back from it. Whatever you say, stranger. It's more of the fact that I'm completely satisfied with the fact that I saved my precious older brother from you. Save? Are you kidding me? You wanted to keep your brother away from anything that makes him happy? That's not the reason. An ugly, money-seeking woman like you will never get close enough to my brother. I saved him from you. Would you quit it with all your cruel and hateful words? You're just bullying me now. Do you have any idea what you've just done? You're not a suitable match for my brother. Now that you're divorced from him, you're no longer to get involved with him or our family. Do you really think my brother would love an ugly, gold-digging woman like you? You're dreaming. now that the divorce papers have been filed, the wedding ceremony will be canceled. Yes, I guess there's no problems then. Wow, such a strong, ugly lady. What if I did things on my own terms? If it was all to lead to a divorce, Mark would be the only one who has to deal with the trouble. Huh? What are you talking about, you ugly woman? It wouldn't be like that. My brother's the best of the best. Even if he divorced a woman like you, he would bounce back really quickly. He's such a popular guy that he would be able to get an even more attractive and intelligent woman. You do know that I was once your brother's boss, and he was the one working for me, not the other way around. I don't believe you. You were his boss. Yes, even though you believe me to be the gold digger, it's funny that you're misunderstanding the money situation. Don't you think that as a boss that I wouldn't have money? You? Betty? A boss? An ugly woman like you? I already explained this to you when we first met. I'm pretty sure that Mark did as well. You really do lack the ability to listen to people, Sophia. Does this mean that my brother will be fired because of the divorce? Actually, you know what? That's fine. My brother is super talented and can get a fancier job like that. He will no longer be troubled by you if you're not around. Oh, is that what you believe? What are you trying to say, Betty? Shouldn't you be the one to decide whether you believe it or not? I'm going to inform Mark of the situation. Mark never gets angry with me because I'm his cute little sister. Sometimes he might make a troubled face at me, but in the end, he always forgives me. That means it'll all be okay. Wow, you have a lot of confidence, Sophia. I admire you for that. Don't you think that only applies to when you were elementary school students? With Mark knowing the circumstances, he said that he would cut you off and be estranged from you. Excuse me? Cut off? That's right. We were going to pay for your college tuition, and we were planning to pay for future study abroad expenses, but I suppose we'll have to cancel that. Pay for what? My college expenses? As a result of you being out of employment and having gone to a private university being a burden on your parents, I thought it was a tough situation to be in. Over the past year, I paid for it. But from all of this, even after graduating from college, you haven't been looking for a job and you've been living at home for the past 2 years already. You've messed up big time. Do you have any idea of how much trouble you've caused your family? You've paid everything for me. Why would you do something like that? As Mark's little sister, you were like family to me, and I made that decision to help you out. But now knowing that you've hated me this entire time, it's so awkward. I really thought that we could become friends someday, but as I kind of expected, the situation ended up like this. So it seems that whilst you'll be studying overseas, you'll be eating up all of your parents' money. You said that you filed the divorce papers, so of course I'll cancel the payments. But, Betty, does this mean I can't study overseas now? That's right, Sophia, unless you use your own money. Your parents, myself, or anyone else for that matter, don't intend on helping you out after what you've done. Betty, hang on a minute, okay? I had no idea up until now that you were doing this. Even though you said this all so suddenly, it's difficult for me to respond without knowing anything about it. If you were at college, I'd be forcing you to drop out since you won't be able to afford it. Such a pity. But I'll make sure that you repay me for what I paid for you, and you'll need to repay your parents for all the trouble you've caused them. If you want to study abroad, you need to go on your own expense. I'll never support you financially again after the things you've called me. Betty, don't be mad at me. I had no idea that this was the situation. You can't be that mad at me, surely. I'm not just mad. I'm completely dumbfounded by your behavior. I don't want anything to do with you anymore, so just do your best by yourself. With that, I bid you farewell, Sophia. Wait, what's with the goodbyes, Betty? What am I supposed to do now? Who knows? You can't come to the wedding ceremony. I don't think you're really part of the family anymore. Huh? You're still going to have a wedding ceremony? How? Today's Saturday, and I heard that the courthouse has a temporary window reception open, right? So I went there to confirm if divorce papers were filed in my name, and they were, so I canceled them, and now they're invalid. Well, that means everything's fine now. I didn't do anything wrong then. Don't you understand that it's not a problem that can be easily fixed? Huh? What do you mean it can't be fixed? You forged our divorce papers and submitted them, Sophia. I tried to call off the wedding, and as I expected, Mark is furious about it. I have no intention of dealing with you in the future. I hope that cutting you off will make all the difference. Wait, Betty, so I can no longer study overseas? And if I forged the papers, that means you're not divorced after all. Doesn't it mean that everything will be okay? It means nothing has changed, right? My perception of you has changed. I thought of you as family, Sophia, and now I just see you as my enemy. Mark also sees you that way as well. He's cutting you off too. Don't even think about showing yourself around us ever again. We cringe at the sight of you. Please, wait a minute, Betty. Let's talk this out. Can't we talk this out nice and calmly, like adults? You would have been if you were dealing with the Betty who was nice and calm a few hours ago. Do you think I would now? It's all over, Sophia. You made the mess. You lie in it. I'm sorry it came down to this, but you're nothing but a stranger to us now. Don't come anywhere near our wedding ceremony or else. Betty, I'm really sorry. Please accept my apology. I was so terrible to you. I realize that now. I know you and my brother are really mad at me, but please look into your hearts and forgive me. I can't live on my own if my family abandons me. I was really looking forward to studying overseas. Please let me go. We're family, right? Please, I'm on my knees here. Forgive me for what I've done. I'm not forgiving you for anything, you horrible little girl. You pushed your brother too far this time, and you're just being a complete nuisance to everybody. Why don't you go and cry on your own and let us live in peace, all right? Don't contact me again. Please, Betty, don't do this. Please don't leave things like this. Please don't abandon me. I have nowhere to go. It's too late, Sophia. Did you finally realize that you picked the wrong person to pick on? You're just a piece of crap, you horrible little girl. When it came down to the problem at hand, the divorce papers were discarded by Betty and Mark got married without any issues. Sophia came to the ceremony in tears, but she was not allowed inside. She was completely amazed by the actions of her brother and her family. It seems that she had no choice but to be at a loss after her brother and family cut her off and was isolated from them. Once Betty and Mark got married, they lived happily ever after. Sophia had no place to go, and the study abroad program she was looking forward to vanished. She was forced to pay back her tuition and started working part-time as a live-in babysitter. Right now, it seems like she's living alone without the support of her family. Her problems were self-inflicted, so there's no way of rescuing her from this fate.